Hi there. Somebody messaged me lately and said, what's the clicking sound I hear in your bike when you're cycling along? And it's these Danish lights that I have. They're magnets attached to the spokes and you don't need a battery to make them work. And that sound is kind of appropriate today because I sound a little bit like a small train chugging up a hill, which is appropriate in itself because I'm travelling on an old railway track that used to have small trains on it, but is now one of Ireland's newest tourist attractions. And I'm really looking forward to trying it out. This is the Waterford Greenway, a cycle track running 46 kilometres from the west of the county to the east, from Dungarvan to Waterford City. In some ways this isn't an ideal day to be trying out the Greenway. It's in the middle of winter, it's lashing rain, the camera and lens are getting soaked so the pictures aren't great. However, it is ideal in that it's in the middle of winter. How you doing?
And it's a safe way of getting out of the house and taking a bit of exercise.
Sorry.
One problem. I've set off from Dungarvan at lunchtime and it'll take at least 3 hours to get to Waterford. I have to get there before the light goes, so I'm not going to get a chance to stop at some of the new coffee shops and cyclists' stops that have opened up along the way. Which is a pity, because the whole of Waterford seems to be behind this new venture. They even have a Greenway themed playground.
Do you know what's great about this as well? I've just heard a car passing on the road beside the Greenway, and I don't know if you're a cyclist, but if you hear the sound of a car you immediately tense up. And when I heard the sound of the car I suddenly realised they're not coming anywhere near me. This is great, this is such a relaxing cycle. Something you don't get on the telly, there's a smell coming from the farm there. I have no idea what it is. It's a very pungent sort of smell. It's not hops or anything like that. I'll do a scratch and sniff version someday.
Just before Douro, I came across these two men, the Corbetts, father and son. The father had used the railway as a child.
8:20 in the morning,
Yeah.
10:20, and then in the evening 4:20 and 8:20.
Really?
Just come back down in the evening.
From Cork?
From Cork, yeah.
Before I left, he had a riddle for me.
What opens to close and closes to open? And to open it you must close it, and to close it you must open it.
Your mouth.
No.
What?
The answer is level crossing gates. You open them to close them, you close them to open them. While the Greenway is happy and shiny and new, there are doleful reminders of its previous role. Empty station platforms, telegraph poles with no wires, signals with no use, and empty signal boxes.
How you doing?
While there's lots of brand new official signage, as ever in Ireland, it's the unofficial that catches your eye. Like Our Lady and the gap in the fence, the caravan in the field far from a house, the freaky looking jacket like a hanged man in the tree, and the paint pot in the bush.
Here's one for the curious Ronan Kelly's Ireland viewers. Why is there a paint pot hanging from a bush? And no, I'm not going to go into the house and ask them. Could be a kid's game, could be some sort of pish rogue. Comments below, please.
Then in Kilmeaden, the beginning of the narrow gauge Sure Valley Railway line, which runs heritage steam engine trips. At the station, I decided to take a closer look at one of the signs I had seen along the route since Dungarvan. I thought they were warning signs, but it turns out they're advertising a Facebook page especially set up with songs from along the Greenway.
If you visit ancient Persia, they built cities with marble and gold. But in Waterford County there's a much nicer sight to behold. With such noble proportions no artist could draw. On the banks of the Clodagh you'll find Portlaw, Portlaw, Portlaw. Sure there's hardly a flaw in the whole of Portlaw.
The middle stretch of the Greenway that I've just done there is, on a winter's day like this, is quite dull. I mean, it's a relatively easy cycle, but not a whole lot to look at. And then coming close to Waterford City, you get the Shore. Isn't that amazing? I'm finally into Waterford City and I'm running out of light. It's the depths of winter and it's miserable and it's cold, but it was a great way to spend an afternoon and to see a part of the country I barely know from a different angle. But I really would like to try it in summertime. See ya.